Just so everyone knows, they're muted by default. So if you are, their camera's off by default too. So if you just want to hit the button that says show camera, then we'll see your pretty faces. If not, I understand. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. See, Judy, you got it. You got the camera on. Now I just have to hit the little red button with the microphone through it if you want to speak. Hey, Judy, I told you I could talk you through this.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Had to come in and turn the heat up. It's cold in here. Oh, good. Oh, excuse me.
Hey, Sue.
Yeah.
Good morning. I think your sound's on.
Oh, okay. How do I turn it off? Mute?
Yeah, mute.
Hi, Scott.
Hello. Trying to see who we missing. Missing Dan and Mark. Of course, we're missing the chair and the vice chair. Fashionably late, I guess. Oh, Mr. Mills waiting. Looks like all we're waiting on right now is Dan. All right, it's 8 a.m. I just sent Dan a message since he's the only one. Looks like he's not here yet. Well, like I said, we're waiting on Dan unless the vice chairman wants to assume command until he gets online, but that's up to you, Mark. Oh, no, he's in the waiting room. Here he is. All right, looks like we're all here. Just waiting for Dan's audio to connect. Dan, I need you to unmute and start the meeting.
Let's call the meeting in order.
Very good.
Roll call.
Roll call. Okay. Chairman Bender,
Here.
Vice Chair Amell,
Here.
Treasurer Parker,
Here.
Trustee Berg,
Hi, yeah, here.
here, Trustee Spalding,
Here.
Trustee Cuspina. Okay, Andy is not online. Trustee Tyler Johnson.
Here.
Mayor Tall.
Here.
And City Manager Jordan.
Here.
Very good. So we have a quorum, Mr. Chairman. You have the agenda in front of you, Dan?
No, I did not get that up before this meeting.
And I'll guide you through it. First, next up on the agenda is approval of corrections to the minutes of September 24th. Did anyone have any corrections they'd like to make to the
I
agenda?
will move to approve the minutes as written.
Motion by,
Support.
hold on, before someone says support, okay, we had Mark, Mel motioned, and then was that Patrick who supported?
No, it was me.
Okay, just because, again, for my own sake, if you wouldn't mind, if you're gonna support or make a motion, just say who it is, and for the two Marks, I may have to say Tall and Mel, just so because it's kind of hard when I have all the screens for to just hear a voice and know who it is, unless it's, all right, so motion by Mark and Mel, second by Mark Tall. Mr. Chair, I think a vote is in order.
Vote, please.
All in favor?
No, got to be a roll call.
So it's gotta be a roll, yeah, you're right. All right, well, all right, motion was made by Mr. Mel, so Vice Chair Mel.
Aye.
Mr. Tall,
Yes,
Chairman Bender,
Yes.
Treasurer Parker,
Yes.
Trustee Berg,
Yes.
Trustee Spalding,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Manager Jordan.
Yes.
Very good, that is approved. All right, next up is the agenda. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns on the agenda?
Move to approve as written.
And that was Mr. Milligan.
Correct.
Is there support?
oh, support.
Okay, Mr. Tall again, thank you. All right, Mr. Chair, can I call the roll?
Call the roll, please.
Okay, Mr. Amell,
Aye.
Mr. Tall,
Yes,
Mr. Bender,
Yes.
Ms. Parker,
Yes.
Ms. Berg,
Yes.
Mr. Spalding,
Yes.
Mr. Tyler Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Patrick Jordan.
Yes.
Very good. Next up on the agenda, Mr. Chair, is the conflict of interest declaration from anyone who might have one.
In previous years, when we were discussing partners in business, I would declare a conflict of interest on myself because I was an officer at the time.
Mhm.
I am not an officer. I put it to the board. Do you feel I should abstain from voting on this issue because I am still a member of the partners in business?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so either.
Okay.
Very good. All right. Next on the agenda, Mr. Chairman, is the treasurer's report. If any of you have it in front of you, I do. So if anyone has any questions, me and or Judy can answer any of the questions you might have.
Yeah, I have it here in front of me, the amended treasurer's report.
Yes.
I don't understand the math on this. On the fourth line entry, Olson's Lawn, it says 2 cuttings at $45.99. How does that equal $75?
Judy, you did the math. How does that math work?
Not sure, I just used their figures.
Is that the new math?
I'll have to check it.
We'll double check that. You're right. I don't know if it was just billed at 75 or if we got a discount for doing 2. I don't know.
Sure.
I'm sorry, Judy.
I think it was billed at 75, but I'll check it.
Okay, we'll double check that now. If there's any corrections or any more information, I'll email it to the board.
Okay. And then on the first line for sign up name badges, are those like for your office desk plates? Or is
No, they're little magnetic ones that were for me in case I go anywhere that say my name and my position. I would show you one, but it's on my desk at the office, so I can't show it to you.
Okay, that's a good idea. Any other questions regarding payables?
All right, hearing none.
Good.
Mr. Chair, I would request someone motion to receive and file the treasurer's report.
Anybody want to know what the fund balance is?
That would be nice, Sue.
Thank you. Adjusted fund balance for $450,396.08.
8 cents, it makes all the difference.
I'll move to approve that.
Moved by Mark,
That was Mark again?
Correct.
Okay. Is there support?
I'll support that. Dan?
Okay. Okay, I'll do I don't know if I have to do roll calls for all these, but it's just gonna be easier on me. So, Vice Chair Amell,
Aye.
Chairman Bender,
Yes.
Ms. Parker,
Yes.
Ms. Berg,
Yes.
Mr. Spalding,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Tall,
Yes.
Mr. Jordan.
Yes.
Very good. That is the treasurer's report. There is no old unfinished business for action at this time. Therefore, new business is approval of the virtual meeting policy. I actually have to give credit to the city manager for this. They brought it up before. The city council has one on their agenda. Due to our nature is somewhat a little bit more autonomous than some of the other city created boards. It was set, I asked, should we create our own policy? He said it might be a good idea. It mirrors mostly what the city council has said, basically that we can have open meetings as long as they're subject to the Voting Meetings Act. You all have to be able to be heard and hear everything. You need to state you're attending virtually, which we have. If these go into next year under the current law, unless you're in the military, you need to say where you are. So, if you're in Escanaba at your house, or if you're like downstate or something. Because next year, there's not any reason, you only have to have specific reasons unless they change the law. You have to state why you're virtually attending. There'll be a link for the meeting will be filed, and I also will place it on our DDA page so anyone can participate under the Open Meetings Act. Will be held open as required on the OMA, and the public will be allowed to comment virtually during the designated comment periods. And we can't exclude anyone unless they commit a breach of peace or we go into closed session. A breach of peace, I think for an online meeting, there was someone who, like in Detroit during one of these meetings, literally broke into the Zoom meeting and threatened to kill all the people who didn't vote their way. So I don't think it's going to happen up here, but that's what I am proposing as a virtual meeting policy.
Mark Hamill, I will move to approve that or accept if needs be.
Okay. Is there support for that?
I'll support Sue.
Okay, support is Sue Parker. All right, so hearing no other discussion, Mr. Chair, may I call the roll?
Yes, you may.
Okay, Mr. Amell,
Aye.
Ms. Parker,
Yes.
Mr. Bender,
Yes.
Ms. Berg,
Yes.
Mr. Spalding,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Tall,
Yes.
Mr. Jordan.
You're muted, Patrick.
Sorry. Yeah, I voted yes, but there may be a correction needed in number 4.
Which is?
beginning in 2021, if a board member is attending a virtual meeting, it should say their current location.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that's a typo. I will fix that. Thank you. I'll consider that a friendly amendment, even though that's technically not a thing. All right. Well, then,
And we're hoping that the legislature is going to fix that, because stating your location when you're not at home, some board members are going to have a problem with that.
well, I understand that, but I'm basically like you. I have to follow what they
You
have
have
in
to.
law right now.
Yeah, you got to do it.
So, unless someone wants to put a call into some of our favorite legislators, that's how it is at the moment. All right. Thank you. Mr. Chair, the next on the agenda is the approval of advertising expenses for Black Friday on Tuesday. And at this point, instead of doing this myself, I'm going to request that you allow Lisa LaLonde from Downtown Partners in Business to speak on this line item's behalf.
I would enjoy that.
Okay, Lisa, unmute yourself and give us your elevator pitch. Hold on a minute. Lisa,
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Great.
All
Okay,
right,
so we are going forward. The businesses are excited about going forward with Black Friday on Tuesday, because besides sidewalk sales, this is probably the second biggest selling day for a lot of us. And we made some changes to make it safer, of course. I did call the health department and they didn't see a problem with it. We are going to, instead of having the sale, usually we have it at night from 3 to 9. We're doing it all day now from 10 to 8. So it'll spread out the people. So people, if they're nervous about coming at night when there might be more people, they'll come during the day. So we'll have sales all day instead of just putting it into like 5 or 6 hours at night. And then we are going to do a drawing, but we're having sheets made so that they can actually cut those ahead of time, sign them and cut them, so they just have to drop them in. Rather than have a stamp sheet where people are handling things, we thought that would be better too. So we've made some changes to make it safe. And then of course, the people who are comfortable with it will come out and the people who aren't will stay home. So I think we'll be good that way. But we are requesting less money this year, $2,500. And we will come up with the other half of that to do the promotion. And we've got, we're doing advertising the Action, the Press, the Radio Results Network, Aurora Media, TV6. We've got a little, for doing our sheets, our sales sheets and miscellaneous things like that. I have $45 in there for that. And we also have the data buses booked. We're actually still in the process of trying to get someone to sponsor those, but we're not sure if that's going to happen. But we can do it regardless. And then whatever's left over, we're going to do with Shop Downtown promotions. Shop locally, Shop Downtown Escanaba is what we're going to do. So we're requesting the it's about a $5,000 budget, but we're requesting $2,500 from the DDA. Any questions?
Lisa, just to confirm, the DDA will be listed as a sponsor in all the advertising?
Yes. Are you able to see me?
No.
Oh, because I do have the thing here, and we're actually at the bottom says thank you, and we actually have your logo, Escanaba Downtown Development Authority, with the little picture of the tower. And it's listed at the top too. Downtown Escanaba, the DDA present the 10th anniversary Black Friday on Tuesday.
There's a little icon on the bottom left of your screen that says start video. You made.
I just had to request to ask you to start video, Lisa.
Okay.
There you are.
Here you are.
So
There you are.
you're up here.
No, that's wrong.
Oh, is it what?
Yeah, it says local business. I didn't see our name.
There it is.
There it is. Oh, okay, there it is.
And you are, if I can get it in here.
Beautiful.
You're in there twice. We give you more space, but as you can see, we have 24 businesses that want to do this And we would have had more except for the restaurants being shut down. Some are still doing it. They're offering gift cards. Only one person really backed out because she's just not going to be open at all, even for takeout. So, any questions?
I'd like to say though that I'd like to thank Lisa for working with me on this. When she came to me for the original ask and she said that she was reducing the cost of the businesses, I said, well, it's only fair to reduce our cost as well. And she did work with me on that. So I'd like to thank her for that. My only question had so far been whether or not the data buses were going to operate, because with all the shutdowns, I was worried about that. But if you're saying they're still to go, then
Yeah.
that's the only question I've had so far since we got the notice about the pause was the buses still going to be allowed to run? That was my only question. So
And so far they are, because they have, I think they block off seats. They do what they need to do. So they're used to that, doing the social distancing and sanitizing and all that. So I'm sure they'll be handling that on their end.
Okay.
And the people who aren't comfortable using them won't use them.
fair enough. Is there any other questions from any other board members?
We need to change the amount on the request. She has 2,337.
Oh, that's
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that was-
old.
yeah. So that was from the sponsorship agreement. Does anyone object if I update that from 2337.50 to 2,500 to match? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Judy.
And the other thing, I do have you writing checks, not to our organization, but I have, I requested that checks from the DDA in $500 increments be to the UP Action, Daily Press, Radio Results Network, Aurora Media, and TV6. So the money isn't going right into our account. You'll know exactly where it's going. It's going right to the advertising people. We thought that was a better way to do it, so you know where your dollars are going.
Yeah, you just have to have them send us an invoice just so we have it for our records and for proper paperwork.
Yes, I would definitely will do that.
Excellent. Any other questions?
I'd say go move to approve.
All right, so Mr. Bender moves.
I'll support that.
And was that Mr. Amell or is that someone else?
That was Mark. Abbott.
Sorry, like I said, when I'm not looking up, sometimes the voices sound different on
That's okay.
the, all right. Then Mr. Chair will call the roll. Mr. Bender,
Yes.
Mr. Amell,
Yes.
Ms. Parker,
Yes.
someone themselves, I'm hearing myself. Lisa, I think it's you.
What?
Could you mute yourself, please? I'm getting an echo.
No.
Could
I
you
didn't
mute
mute
yourself, please?
Should I mute myself? I don't know how to do that. Oh, up here.
Okay. Okay, where was I? Ms. Berg,
Yes.
Mr. Spalding,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Tall,
Yes.
Mr. Jordan.
Yes.
All right, well, Lisa, you have your money. You can tell them to send the bills. You're muted, Lisa. You have to say.
I'll unmute. Thank you very much. We do appreciate it. This is a huge event for downtown and it really gives us a money boost. And I know a lot of ladies are already excited about it. So it's a good thing. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
You're welcome. Let's just hope there's no restrictions added on between now and Tuesday.
We're crossing our fingers because, you know, all the advertising is kind of in place. So this is a good thing that you approved it. So I thank you very much.
Thank you for your hard work, Lisa. It's
Thank you, Lisa.
appreciated.
Thanks, Lisa.
We did it.
Okay, board
Give
members.
a progress report that you can, we'll give you a little progress report on how it did that night for you to say it at your next meeting.
Thank you, Lisa.
Because I think it's gonna go well. So,
Thank you.
so you can sign me off or,
You can sign off if you'd like. If you want to stick around and watch the rest of the meeting, that's entirely up to you.
okay, well, I'll mute myself.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda, Mr. Chairman, is approval of the 2021 meeting schedule. It's basically the same as what we're doing now, fourth Thursday of the month, 8 a.m., except for November and December, which was we moved to the third Thursday to avoid holiday conflicts. I think we fell right on Thanksgiving, and I think the December meeting was the 23rd, which anything with a 20 in front of it, I'm like, yeah, we should move that up. So That's the
Yeah.
proposed meeting schedule for 2021, unless anyone has any changes they'd like to request.
I'll move to approve. This is Pat.
Okay. Is there support?
I'll
I'll
support.
support Mark.
I got 3 people at the same time. I'll go with Sue. This hers is the most distinctive voice I could tell. Okay, Mr. Chair, with your approval, I'll call the roll.
My approvals.
Okay, Mr. Jordan,
Yes.
Ms. Parker,
Yes,
Mr. Bender,
Yes.
Mr. Amell,
Yes.
Ms. Berg,
Yes.
Mr. Spalding,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
and Mr. Tall.
Yes.
All right, well, that is approved. We have a 2021 meeting schedule. That was painless. Thank you. Okay, next up, Mr. Chairman, that concludes new business project updates. I'm gonna be as quick as I possibly can be. The Marketplace Kitchen, we've gutted it. All this old stuff's out. Some of the stuff's in our DDA office. I think the refrigerator and some of the cabinets has given us some more storage space, which I greatly appreciated. As Judy can attest, I've been going through the back room, pulling stuff out and asking, what is this? And a lot of it has, we have some very interesting old technology if anyone has an interest in antique tape recorders. We have all of the different things out for bid, and I think we've gotten most of them back. Berger, sorry, I don't want to get the wrong accent there, and King has submitted the site plan for state approval. We have the appliances are being ordered. Ivy is working with, I think it's Hiawatha Supply, to get those all ordered. Hopefully the pandemic doesn't back things up too much. Work will begin as soon as the site plan is approved. So as soon as the state gets its house in order and says we can go, that's when Berger and King is going to start their part. Philly Electric will start their part, and appliances as they come in will be installed. It's just basically that kind of deal. If there's any more specifics on the kitchen project that I'm missing, that because Ivy isn't here, that Mr. Amell, once you're done chugging your lifeblood, if there's any other updates you remember that you think are relevant to add. He's shaking his head no. Is there any other questions on the kitchen project specifically? Okay, hearing none, I'll move on. The Christmas tree lighting, usually this is held in conjunction with Black Friday on Tuesday. Judy has told me of the joys of having the office crowded with people for cookies and hot chocolate. I'm quite frankly disappointed I don't get to pick my favorite cookies and hot chocolate to have. But because of the shutdown, the pandemic and everything, obviously we can't do it normally. We will be holding it virtually. I'll be doing it on Facebook Live on the Escanaba DDA page at 6 p.m. Normally we do it at 7, but considering the lighting and people being able to see it, I moved it up an hour. It'll be on Tuesday the 24th, 2020 at 6 p.m. The person who usually plays Santa came into the office and we discussed whether or not he would want to be involved in it. And considering there's not going to be kids there, it's not going to be a big to-do. He kind of demurred on it, and I kind of agreed with him on it. So if you don't like the Escanaba DDA page, which is at facebook.com/escanaba.dda, at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, you'll see my smiling face. I'll dig out one of my Santa hats or my elf hat, because I think it's more ironic for me, a 6'5" guy, to wear an elf hat. And I'll be lighting the tree, spending some Christmas cheer, and hopefully maybe even playing some not copyrighted music in the background. So that's the update on that. Under various other issues, number one, the DDA office is closed to the public, which is per my OSHA and DDA's just orders. We're only going to have one of us in the office at a time. I have the ability more because of my higher ability with technology. I won't use Judy's word because it's semi-offensive. I'll be there 2 days a week, and I'll be here in this magnificent office I put together for myself 3 days a week, and Judy will be there the other 3. And I think she'll do some stuff at home when she's not in the office, because we do have some paperwork that I want gone through, which is, what's relevant, what's not. So she's going to work on that. Like I said, that's my OSHA already ordered that before the thing that happened on Sunday, basically saying that you had to work from home. I know the city has also moved to some of this. The next one on issues, the marketplace maintenance. I know we had a long conversation last time about the sinkholes and all the other issues. And I know you guys wanted to look if there's any legal options. So I consulted with my predecessor. I went through the minutes. I talked to a lot of you guys. I talked to the contractors. Unfortunately, I just don't know how much of a legal case we have because both my predecessor and the contractor say that the issue was brought before the board and they denied the monetary contribution because they thought it was another money grab. Whereas I know Mr. Bender specifically has said he doesn't believe that's the case. The meeting minutes are not crystal clear on that point, so there's an argument to be made. So in my opinion, right now, we have a hearsay case, and I don't know if it's worth the money to try and take it forward. Unfortunately, the other thing is the work is out of warranty, and Judy, correct me if I'm wrong, but even though there was out of warranty once before, they did come and put some fill in the first time this happened, even though it was outside their warranties. They already have technically done some work outside of warranty. So I, right now, do not believe there's anything we can do legally to, at least successfully legally, to obtain anything from the contractor. I know that anyone with, anyone can file a lawsuit, even if they have no case, but I don't want to waste money on something I don't think we can win. If you still want me to ask the attorney whether we can win or not, or whether it's worth it, I will. But I personally, from my 1 year of law school, don't think we have much of a case. But if you guys have any other thoughts on it, I'd happily listen to them.
This is Pat. Are the sinkholes a result of an old foundation being left in the ground? Is that what's from?
That's what like I said, I'm not a contractor. I don't play one on television, but that's what the contractors basically said, is that because the city previously did not enforce certain rules and they didn't take the foundation out or didn't force the foundation out at some point in the past, that it is an old foundation in there that's causing the sinkholes. So if we wanted to fix it, we would have to basically dig it out and dig out the foundation, which would, in my opinion, and I haven't, because they haven't, did this out, it would probably involve tearing down the stage. Because I don't know how you can get around to that sinkhole without tearing down the stage. So that would involve, I don't know the legalities under the grant. I haven't even looked at that, but I just know if we're going to tear down the stage just to get to that sinkhole, it's going to be bloody expensive. Which it's going to have to be done eventually at some point, I'm assuming, because I'm sure it's a safety hazard. But I just don't think we have any recourse to get any money from anyone except paying for it ourselves, unfortunately.
Yeah, the city, we just revised our ordinance to require that foundations be removed.
Yeah.
There may also be a provision that if they're not removed, that it be reflected in the deeds so the next property owner knows that it's there. But that just happened. So yeah, unfortunately.
And I know from my conversations, there's a lot of underlying issues some people have with some of this, but my position is I can't relitigate the past. I can only take what's in front of me and move forward. So that's where it is with that. Like I said, I think right now we may just have to tape it off with the L tape and say caution if it keeps happening. And then eventually we may have to dig it out and take down the stage and fix it. I mean, unfortunately, that's just where we're stuck at right now. The other issue was the fence. So when I talked to Kim Peterson from Parks and Rec about this, that playground was paid for with a grant from the DNR, which requires it to be a park in that condition for 40 years. And if I want to change the fence, I basically have to have a specific proposal and pitch it to the DNR and hope they approve it. So that's what I'm going to do over the winter, is figure out what kind of fence we want to change it to make it more transparent, because I believe that was the issue. I remember the phrase, "it looks like a fort," was used. So I'm going to work on it over the winter, figure out what kind of fence we want to request, pitch it to the DNR, see if they're okay with us changing it, and then if we can change it. Because, and Judy can attest to this, they are still taking lattices out, and someone tried to burn one, and yeah, it's kind of not fun over there. Anyone have any questions or comments on marketplace maintenance?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if I may. I don't think we should postpone fixing a problem we all acknowledge exists and bite the bullet and pay for it. We need to take that foundation out of the ground. I understand it means the sacrifice of the stage. Honestly, I haven't seen the stage used all that much, but if we have to put it back because of a grant, then we have to. But we've got to fix that sinkhole. We can't wait for every rainfall to wonder how bad it is now. So I'd like us to move ahead on that. I'd like to hear other opinions.
Question.
Mhm.
I agree with that. My concern is how bad could it possibly get? And another concern is, obviously the longer you put it off, the more costly it's going to be. And as you were saying, Scott, I believe you said it's going to have to be done anyways.
Yeah,
So
my only thing I want to clear up before I go forward is the legalities under the grant of if I have to put the stage up exactly as it was. Is just, I want to clear up a few questions before, but no, I agree it needs to be done. But I want to make sure if I'm going to do it, I want to make sure I get out all my ducks in a row. So like I said, I figured if you guys want me to go forward, I'm looking at this, I would take the month and say, okay, what are my obligations under the grant? Probably have to put out this for competitive bid, hope that the people can do it right now. That's the other problem is we have a lot of back work. I mean, we still have back work on the existing facade programs because of the construction, and also hoping that material is available, because one of the things I've heard from numerous sources is that there's a shortage of fill for a lot of work. So it's a matter of, I agree that we need to do it, but I just want to make sure we do it right, and that the availability is to do it and how long it's going to take. So
I'd like to step in here if that's all right.
go ahead. You're the chair. You can do what you want.
Just an opinion, like where the sinkhole is, they poured sand in there before and it's gone away again. What about throwing cement in there? Fill that hole. It can't go anywhere.
I'm not an engineer. I can't answer that question. I mean, like I said, we can talk to some contractors and see what our options are, and I can bring those options back to you guys. I think that's the thing is the best thing I can answer right now, because I'm not an engineer. I don't know how to fill a hole. I know when I was a kid, if I dug a hole, eventually the dirt would fall in on it. That's about all I know.
So again, excuse me, my question is, where does it stand as far as it getting better, or excuse me, it's not gonna get better, getting worse? And has anyone looked at this contractor wise, professional wise, to determine how serious it is at this point and what it could get to?
We haven't had a professional estimate done looking at it. Just based on anecdotal people looking at it and what their anecdotal knowledge is. Since the fill seems to keep washing away, there's a possibility that there's a underlying, I don't know how the water washes it away and it washes it down towards the lake. So there's like an underlying flow. Again, I'm not an engineer, so I really can't get into too many specifics. That's why if we can't just dump sand in there because it keeps going, because we've dumped sand in there before. As I stated earlier, the contractor actually dumped some fill in it a year after they were done, which is technically outside their warranty. And it washed away and we still have the sinkhole problem. So I don't know if Phil is going to do it. Like I said, I can have professionals come out and give us estimates and give us options. That's the only thing I can answer right now, because I honestly don't know enough about sinkholes to answer specifics.
So do you need permission from us, or do you need a recommendation for us? Would you like one, or are you just informing us that you are going to now take the necessary steps to address the situation to the best of your ability?
Like I said, I'll need permission to spend money. I don't think I need permission to ask to get estimates to spend money. So if you guys want me to do that, I will absolutely do that.
That's what we need so we can get this done.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I will. Well, like I said, it's a money issue. So if you guys want to do it now, that's perfectly fine. I will get some estimates out. If any of you know anyone who I should call, please let me know offline, and I will get on the horn with them. Either me or Judy will get on the horn with them, and we'll get some people to look at it and see what we can do.
Thank you.
Any other questions under marketplace maintenance?
I'm going to sign off now to get my wife to the doctor, and because the next topic probably doesn't need to include me.
Fair enough. Thank you, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, guys. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Thanksgiving, everything.
If we're allowed to celebrate.
Thanks, same to you.
Okay, next on the various other issues, Mr. Chair, status of the Senate Court building and property. Simplest is our initial offer was rejected by the city council. They made a counter offer, and the negotiating committee of myself, Mr. Amell, Mr. Bender, has received it and is considering what our next steps are. That's, if anyone has any questions about that, me or Mr. Bender, Mr. Amell can answer them. All right, no, I got nothing. All right, Mr. Chair, that concludes various other issues unless any other issues, specific issues would like to be discussed by anyone.
No, I think we're ready for general public comment.
All right, general public comment. I think the only person on the line who's not a board member, and Lisa already had her time, would be, I think, let's look at my list here, Kelly's iPhone. So Kelly, do you have any general public comment at this time?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I believe that's anyone. Like I said, Lisa, you're the only person on here who's not a board member, but you've already spoken, so I'm assuming you're still good. I'm staring at her ceiling, so I don't know if she's still there. All right, board staff comments. Any member of the board have any comments they'd like to make at this time?
One small comment. When we approved the minutes earlier in this meeting, did that approve the minutes from the closed session as well?
No, that'll be later on.
Be separate?
That'll be separate.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else from the board? I don't think I have any staff comments. I've pretty much already covered my staff comments in terms of the closure and everything. Judy, you got anything? You can just shake your head. No, she doesn't. Okay, does anyone have any, hearing no other board comments, any announcements? Nope. Okay, as Ms. Parker just asked, approval, next slide is approval adjustments to the minutes of closed session. We do have the right to go into closed session to approve these minutes. However, considering the issue we discussed in closed session was discussed at an open public meeting of the city council, I really don't think it's necessary at this point, since everyone kind of knows what we discussed in the closed session. So I just think we can just approve them here in open session and call it a day.
I'm moved to approve.
Okay, Mr. Chairman moves to approve. Is there support?
I'll support that.
All right, Mark, I think I got you first, so. Okay, without any further discussion, Mr. Chair, I'd like to call the roll.
Yes.
Chairman Bender,
Yes.
Vice Chair Amell,
Yes.
Treasurer Parker,
Yes.
Trustee Berg,
Yes.
Trustee Spalding,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
and last but not least, Mr. Mayor.
Abstain.
Abstain, fair enough. Motion passes. So, Mr. Chairman, that concludes our agenda on our fairly successful first online meeting. It was quite orderly, and I appreciate that from everyone.
Thank you, Scott. Well done. I'll move to adjourn.
Mr. Amell motions to adjourn. Is there
Support. Tall.
Mr. Tall supports. I think we don't need a roll call for this. Does anyone object?
No, we don't.
No, we don't. All right. Well, then, Mr. Chairman, I suggest an adjournment.
Adjourn, please. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. See you next month, hopefully.
See you guys.
Bye.
That worked out pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit more, what's the right word? There wasn't a lot of crosstalk, which was good, because that was the only thing I'm worried about, because a lot of our meetings, we have some crosstalk. I'm like, oh God, if that happens online, it's going to be confusing.
All right. Well, I got to go to the dentist. Talk to you soon.
Hopefully they don't wire your mouth shut. Good day.
It might be nice, though. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.